What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I mean, this is a comparison nobody wants, and I don't even know why I'm doing it, but I figured some people out there might own the iPhone 5. They might want to see what the differences are. I'll be honest, iPhone 11, way better in every single which way you look at it. I mean, there's really no way the iPhone 5 wins. I mean, besides the headphone jack, really, every single thing else is better on the iPhone 11 than on the iPhone 5. But this is not a video to see which one is the better phone. Of course, the 11 is the better phone. I'm just trying to see what the differences are and how much better we've seen since the 2012 phone of the iPhone 5. And I'll be honest, even though the iPhone 5 is the older phone and doesn't look as good or whatever, I think there's some advantages with the iPhone 5 with like the headphone jack might be the only one, but the build quality, I mean, yes, the build quality on the iPhone 11 feels better. It's stronger, glass on the back feels much stronger than that. I still like the way the iPhone 5 feels. It always felt more like a premium phone to me. It felt like, I don't know, like some executive phone that some people might use, like, oh, you see this guy like he's a Wall Street banker or something like that. I don't know. But this phone just always kind of had a vibe for me in a way, and it's such a vibe. That's the best way I can put it. The 11 looks way better, of course, but I don't know, like I still kind of like the way the 5 looked, the way it felt. The 11 though is the better phone in my opinion in every single which way though now. When the iPhone 5 came out in 2012, I mean, this was the phone that people would compare every single other phone to. They're like the Galaxy Notes, so many other phones, and this was like a good size at the time. But now we look at the iPhone 5 and we're like, oh my god, this phone is so small. How do people even use it? I kind of see that too, but this is the same size of the SE, and I don't have hate for the SE at all. I love that phone, and this is just another phone in that particular way. And looking on the front, we have a 4-inch IPS panel on the iPhone 5, 6.1-inch panel on the iPhone 11, and this one is a liquid retina display. Believe it or not, the pixels per inch are exactly the same on both. And let me zoom in actually. If you can see, I mean, I do believe that the 11's panel is better, but I don't know, like it's weird that the same pixels per inch are on both these phones. This is a 2019 phone, this is a 2012 phone. This phone came out like over 7 years ago, and I think there is a difference. Like the 11's is better, it seems like warmer colors, but I don't know, man, it's kind of weird. Size-wise, I mean, really big differences. Bunch of bezel on the iPhone 5, very little bezel on the iPhone 11 except that notch, which, it's good enough for me. Lightning ports on the bottom. This is the first iPhone to bring a lightning port, so don't sleep on the iPhone 5. It brought that. Headphone jack right there. Buttons on the side, I don't really think everybody cares about that. Back, I already hit on them. Dual camera setup on the iPhone 11, single camera setup on the iPhone 5, and I'll hit on the cameras very briefly. It's not going to be that big of a comparison. Volume buttons on the side, power buttons up top, and that really pretty much covers it up. There's really nothing too crazy between these phones. I mean, they both make calls, they both make messages. Just kidding. The 11 will demolish the iPhone 5 any way you look at it, I'm being completely honest. No IP certification on the iPhone 5. iPhone 11 does have IP68 dust and water resistance, and that's really all I want to hit on the outside. Of course, the 11 is the better built phone overall. One thing I will say though is that in terms of software updates, I think technically speaking, of course the iPhone 11 will outlast the iPhone 5, but the iPhone 5 had something super interesting. It got iOS 10.3.4, I think it was, or 10.3.5. I think it was 10.3.4. This iPhone got it, where the iPhone 11 is going to get many, many more versions of iOS. It's going to last forever pretty much, but the funny thing is, I think the overall lifespan of the iPhone 5 will outlast the iPhone 11. I don't think the iPhone 11 is going to get another software support after it's like 2 or 3 years done with software support, you know what I mean? This thing was supported from 2012 all the way to 2019 if you think about it. So for 7 years, this phone got supported. Longest lasting iPhone, I think, underneath the iPhone 4S. That one got supported too, a little update. It was a security update, but it was still an iOS update at the end of the day. This phone is probably going to last for a very long time too, but I don't think it's going to outlast the iPhone 5 in the sense of how long it lasted. Of course it's going to outlast the iPhone 5, but not in the way that you traditionally might think, which is so funny to think. So that pretty much covers it up in terms of the software life cycle of it, how these phones are going to last in terms of software. Now I'm going to do a speed comparison. This is not going to be good. I feel like I'm totally going to butcher this. I don't even know why I'm doing it, but I feel like I have to do it at this point. The iPhone 5 had the Apple A6 chip, a dual-core CPU with 1 GB of RAM, but the iPhone 11 has the Apple A13 Bionic chip, a hexa-core CPU with 4 GB of RAM. So let's go and see how the improvements have happened. Of course, the iPhone 5 will probably be slower, but who knows, maybe I'm wrong. Let's go and see which one is the faster. Now that we're zoomed in, let's go and start loading them up. Let's do the App Store. 3, 2, 1. And it might help if I exit out of these apps real quick. Let's do the App Store. 3, 2, 1. As you can see, iPhone 11 just loads right into it. iPhone 5 eventually gets into it. Kind of slow though. I will say some of the apps that I tried to download, they didn't download properly on the iPhone 5 because you need like iOS 11 at the minimum, and I just did not have that. Settings, 3, 2, 1. iPhone 11 literally gets into it. iPhone 5 shortly after. Camera, 3, 2, 1. And I'm not really too sure which one's the faster one. Music, 3, 2, 1. iPhone 11 faster. Eventually we get into it on the iPhone. Let's go and load up these third-party apps. Temple Run, 3, 2, 1. We will have to restart this one. Temple Run, 3, 2, 1. Didn't I not just redo this? 3, 2, 1. And I was getting an error on here, but I'm going to let it go through and kind of load up in the background, see which one is faster that way. And the iPhone 11 is going to load it faster, and eventually we get into it on the iPhone 5 in the background. Temple Run 2, 3, 2, 1. And I don't even know why I'm getting this notification now on there. And on the iPhone 11, we are fully loaded. iPhone 5 still downloading the package. I mean, this is insane. I've already played it on both these phones too, which is kind of weird. And still loading on the iPhone 5. I feel like it's going to take a minute. In the meantime, I'll go ahead and load up a game, I guess. I mean, that's the least I can do. This thing is still loading. It's going to take forever on it. As you can see, we eventually get into it. Look how glitchy it is on the iPhone 5. That is so crazy how advanced we've gotten at this point. And this isn't even that crazy of a game. Can you imagine? Let's get into some gameplay here. I mean, look at that. Facebook, 3, 2, 1. This is crazy how long it takes on the iPhone 5. Okay, you see how long that took? That took forever. Snapchat, 3, 2, 1. Okay, that took forever. Imagine how I feel, dude. I'm doing this comparison. Paper out 2, 3, 2, 1. Fully loaded on the iPhone 11. iPhone 5 still taking its time. I mean, it's insane how slow this phone is. It's just crazy, okay? Eventually in it, let's go ahead and load it up. Okay, I already clicked it. It didn't go through. I can't wait to see how glitchy it is on this phone. I mean, look at that difference. I mean, this is some difference that we've seen. I mean, in the couple years, that the difference of these phones is insane. Snake versus Blocks, 3, 2, 1. Fully loaded on the 11. And then fully loaded on the iPhone 5 eventually 30 minutes after. Let's see some gameplay. It's pretty glitchy on the 5. Very smooth on the iPhone 11 though. Let's do Real Racing 3, 3, 2, 1. And this is the highest up-to-date version I could get on the iPhone 5, which isn't even that up-to-date, but that's the most I can do. And as you can see, we have to download on here. I'm not even going to waste the time. It's going to take forever. We can do stack. Let's end it off with a stack. 3, 2, 1. I might have to exit out of a little pop-up that comes up or something. Nope, I think we're good. And look at that difference. I mean, again, this is more so just to see what the differences are between these. It's crazy the differences. I mean, I love seeing this type of improvements with these phones. It's awesome. And look, even for this game, it's not even that crazy. It's glitchy all over the place on the iPhone 5 too. It's crazy. Look at that difference. Look at the smoothness. I mean, the iPhone 11 is just so much smoother than the 5, and it's just crazy to see the improvements we've had. So, I mean, ultimately what I can tell you is iPhone 11, extremely fast phone. I love this phone a lot. The iPhone 5, it doesn't really hold up anymore, but at the time of its release, it was an extremely fast phone. It's just funny kind of seeing like what this phone, I mean, this phone I think retailed for about the same price that this phone came out with, and seeing how much a phone cost you then and now, and seeing the improvements and everything. I mean, it's awesome. So as expected, the iPhone 11 is the faster phone between them. And I just dropped my phone. Now hitting on the cameras real quick, I'm not going to spend like 40 minutes talking about it. 8 megapixel sensor on the iPhone 5, two 12 megapixel sensors on the iPhone 11, an ultra wide sensor here, which is really nice. And without a doubt, I'll definitely tell you, again, iPhone 11, way better camera. It's one of the best cameras in the market right now. I compare it to many other competitors, and like I stated, iPhone 11 is way, way better in the camera sensor department. Battery life, again, will be better on the iPhone 11 as well. It's funny though, because the screen sizes might be better and bigger or whatever. The pixels per inch are the same, meaning it's not like a hugely crazy powerful screen that has to push. So what I'll tell you is that in terms of the overall battery life, the iPhone 11, even though it's bigger and more powerful, this or that, will have the better battery life between these two phones without a doubt. And to kind of sum up this whole entire thing, dude, what I'll tell you is the iPhone 5, it has a special place in my heart. It brought a lot when it came out, that new form factor, bigger screen, lightning port, which it changed the game. It's still used on the new 5 phones and everything, and I think pretty good build quality. I think the iPhone 4S might have been better, but this one, it still feels like $1 million phone, and still kind of software supported a little bit, not really, but it got that random software support out of nowhere. With the iPhone 11, dude, without a doubt, is the better phone overall. It's way better, it's way smoother, way everything, and it's a pretty big upgrade between these. If you have a 5, go for an iPhone 11, or even if you have an iPhone 5, go for the iPhone 10, go for some other phone better than the iPhone 5, trust me. There's a pretty big difference between them. Even in terms of security, you're going to be more secure on an iPhone 11 than on an iPhone 5 in my opinion. So that pretty much covers it. If you have any questions or anything, leave it down in the comment section below. That like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it means so much if you guys could hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel. All those links are linked down below. I'd really appreciate it if you guys could check it out. But more importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.